I'm Duncan Green. Welcome to Gym Hacks, your daily 10-minute dose of tips, techniques and innovations to make your fitness club stand out, more fun to run and more profitable. 600 seconds of takeaways that will make a difference. Our aim is to provide the very best free content on the web for you gym owners and operators. If you like our content, register for our free 6-week exponential growth formula program. We're helping fitness club professionals generate the maximum revenues possible. Register below to enroll on the next program, which starts on the 1st of next month. Once you've registered, we'll send you the logins automatically. Also, check out our unique implementation service. This is a 100% done-for-you program of effective fitness club marketing, and it's supported by the strongest guarantees anywhere in our sector. Click below for details on this incredible service. But right now, let's get back to today's gym hack. Today I'd like to talk about why your attrition rate does matter. I've been reading some things in the fitness press recently, and certainly some leaders of very, very major fitness operators who seem to give the impression that your attrition rate is not a big deal. Well, it is. It's a massive deal. It hugely matters. And what I'd like to do over the next few minutes is try to explain why I think it is so important. First of all, let's look at what is your attrition rate and how is it calculated. Well, it's a monthly number, and I urge you to monitor this stat. The first number you need to measure is the total number of members who could have paid you each month. That's at that base of this calculation. And above it are the number of members in each month who don't pay you or renew in that month. Because remember, you've got two types of members. You've got those that are paying on a subscription, on a rolling payment program. And you've got those that have paid you in advance for a certain sum, certain length of time. Now, at the end of that time, they renew. And it's important that you factor that lack of renewal into your equation when calculating attrition. So you divide the number of members who don't pay or renew in that month by the total number of members who could have paid you by 100%, and that is going to give you a monthly figure. Now that monthly figure is going to be somewhere in the fitness industry between 2 and 13% per month. And what I'd like to do is just explain to you why that matters and why you should and must measure it. So here's the so what about your attrition rate. The first thing is that it helps you to calculate accurately the average lifetime value of your customer. And this is absolutely fundamental to your chances of success. It's the amount of money on average that every member will pay you. Now, of course, you've got some members stay longer than others, but the average attrition rate tells you across the board accurately how many times they're going to pay you. You'll see this chart, and on it we've put on a calculation for you of, dependent on your attrition rate, and you'll notice that down the left hand column are the attrition rates per month on average, starting at 3% in this diagram all the way down to 10%. And we're then measuring it over a period of years, the window as we've described it. And you'll see typically you would want to measure your business over 3 to 5 years. So let's take, for the purpose of today, that you want to measure the performance of your club over 3 years. Now, if you know what the average attrition rate is, the calculation we've just gone by, the number of people who didn't pay you by the number of people who could have paid you, and let's say that your figure is 6%. So chart down the left-hand side row till you get to 6%, and then across to 3 years. You will see that on average, each customer that you join for in the next 3 years will pay you 9.5 months. Now, obviously, when you know what the average subscription rate is, and you can work that out by taking your most recent membership revenue and divide it by the total number of members who contributed to that figure. So let's assume that you took £30,000 in monthly revenues from 1,000 people, then the average yield is 30. 30,000 divided by the number of members, 1,000, equals 30. Now that £30 you're going to get, according to this average at 6% attrition, 9.5 times. So the lifetime value of your customer, all customers, any customers in the next 3 years, is 30 times 9.5, which, if my maths are right, is about £285. So that's what you're going to get, £285. That's all you're going to get from your membership subscription per customer. Now, from the lifetime value and the attrition rate, it tells you whether your current business model will be financially successful in the future. Because once we know what the average attrition is, we know what the maximum number of members will be when you reach a point of balance between the average people joining you and the average people leaving you. Now let's say again, let's assume that you've got a 6% attrition rate. You on average join 60 people per month. When you reach 1,000 people, 6% of those people leaving you every month is 60. The same number of people that are joining you. You've reached this point of equilibrium. Now, once you know exactly how much they pay per month, we said it was 30, if your business is not sustainable at £30,000 a month, 1,000 people times 30, then you have to change your model, otherwise you will go bust. So you see that once you know your attrition figure per month on average, and you know your average sales per month, you can predict whether you will be successful. There's other things that are important. It tells you at what level of membership numbers you need to change your model. Again, that same calculation that we've done. When you reach that 1,000 people at 6% and you're joining 60 people, new members every month, you've reached this equilibrium. Leavers equals joiners. You need to change your model now. And what you can do is one of three things. You can either drive more sales, but what tends to happen in this type of equation is when people drive sales, they do so by reducing the price. And what also happens is it ups the attrition. So they don't actually reach the revenue success that they're striving for, because you've got this dynamic relationship between these three critical things: number of customers, how much they pay, how long they stay. But attrition is so vital in order to manage whether your business is on track. The fourth thing that knowledge of your attrition figure does is, by allowing you to calculate the lifetime value of a customer, you can now decide on how much you're prepared to spend on average to buy a customer. So back to our equation. £30 a month, the customer is staying 9.5 months. The lifetime value is 285. You may decide that you can spend 10% on that to get a customer. So you are prepared to spend £28.50 in order to get a new member, because you now know that your model is generating £285 from that customer. So if you want to drive 100 people at £28.50, you need to spend £2,850. And then you can monitor your marketing reports and your performance in order to make sure that you're hitting those numbers. Now, If 9.5 months is not sufficient in terms of revenue, when you multiply that figure by the average yield, then what you need to do is change the transaction type and lengths of stay. So it may well be, if you've only got a 9.5 average lifetime value, that it will benefit you from selling 12-month, 15-month, 2-year memberships. Because no matter how you cut and slice what you do, you still on average are only getting 9.5 months. So for you to get something, a member where they pay you for 2 years, and you create some sort of offer that might be worth even more than that, might be the equivalent of a 3-year deal on month to month, but you're giving it to them for 2, you're still far better off, because the numbers don't lie. The lifetime value is a fact based on your average attrition. And obviously you can manage your attrition figures on a month-to-month basis. So you can play around with your customer retention strategies and see whether you're improving or reducing your customer retention. So you can see there are a number of reasons why it is essential that as a really successful fitness club operator, you manage and calculate your attrition rates and live by them day by day. Thanks ever so much for listening. See you next time.